So Imam Sahib just explained in some detail how one identifies the start of new moon and how the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat goes about its processes of identifying it. And yet, despite what seems like quite a scientific process, there are many across the world who, for example, if they were living in the United States or in Europe, would demand that it is only when they see the new moon in Saudi Arabia or other Muslim countries that at that point does the blessed month start. So can you perhaps give some insight into how these derivations have come about?
Yes, you see, I came in this country in 1975, and since then I have seen so many changes in this country particularly. In the beginning, most of the people used to say, I'm non-Ahmadi Muslim, I'm talking about, that it is haram to use scientific methods. So they are only saying that we should just use our own eyes, or at the most, they said we should just follow Saudi Arabia or Pakistan, or some said Iraq even, you know. There are some mosques which were being supported by Iraq. Some are following Turkey as well, some Turkish people living here. But the thing is that as far as the Holy Prophet ﷺ is concerned, he has very clearly said, Sumu li royatihi, that you should start observing fast after you have seen the moon. And this seeing is, with naked eye, basically. So nowadays we have this facility that observatory department can very easily tell you that when you will be able to see the moon with your naked eye and when you can only see with some instruments. So now this year, for example, they gave us information, and it is written, anybody can take that information.
This is the Greenwich Observatory.
They said that it is, yes, they said that it is not possible to see the moon on Friday, for example, with naked eye. The first day when you can see the moon with naked eye, that is Saturday. So this is why the Ahmadiyya Jamaat decided that we should start our fasting on Sunday. But at the same time, I would like to mention that after getting all the information, ultimately somebody has to decide what to do and what is not to be done. And we, by the grace of Allah, have this privilege that we have Khilafat. And all the information are presented before Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Aziz, and he is the one to make the final decision, and all Ahmadis, by the grace of Allah, they accept it. This is how the unity is also preserved in the Ahmadiyya community.
Well, this question that, as some people you have mentioned that they say that we should follow what Saudi Arabia decides. Well, the thing is that Islam is for the whole world. It's not for one area or for one region. And basically the teaching of Islam is to be decided according to the local values and conditions. Regarding the sighting of the moon, there is in the famous book of Hadith, Muslim Sharif, which is only next to the Bukhari, and there is a special chapter made there with the title لِكُلِّ أَهْلِ بَلَدٍ رُؤْيَتُهُمْ, that for each people of one horizon, their own sighting is there. So it means the sighting could be possible in some other regions, in some horizons, in some other areas, some continents maybe far away, but that will not be valid for other people. So all the region, the local region, they should go for the sighting or the possibility of the sighting according to them and not follow the others. I mean, it's very simple. If one country takes Saudi Arabia, with all the respect that Saudi Arabia happens to be the center of Islam, where the Holy Prophet ﷺ, our beloved Master, was born. He lived there, he spent his whole life there, and he is buried there. And the whole religion of Islam started from there. We have got all the love and respect and affection for that country, no doubt. But the point is that do we, in our daily life, say in the 5 daily prayers, do we follow the timing of the sunrise for the Fajr prayer and sunset for the Maghrib prayer in Saudi Arabia? Nobody would do that. The people in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, they always go by the timing of the local area where they live. So similarly, not only in the sun, in case of moon, when the sighting comes, it has to be taken locally. And in one region, one sighting should be followed. And so for this question, which is generally raised, that in that case, look, people will be starting Ramadan in various parts of the world in different days, then what's the harm in it? That concept is totally not against Islam. It is quite possible that people in Australia, in Singapore, in the Middle East, in Asia, in Japan, in South Africa, they might be starting on different days, 1, 2, or 3 days, as the case may be. Because Islam is global religion, so if the difference is there because of their local conditions, then no harm in different decisions. And there is no such teaching that Muslims all over the world must start Ramzan and celebrate Eid on one day. If the prayers can be offered at different times, then why can't Ramadan start in different days?
Dr. Saab, did you have an insight to this?
Yeah, as a global phenomenon, Ramadan cannot start on the same day. It's plainly obvious because the earth is not flat, it is round, and the horizons have to be different in different parts of the world. However, along the same longitudes, it can occur at the same time. But as Imam Sahib has explained, the conditions for the new moon have to be there, the elongation and the age of the moon. And one thing that scientists also talk about is the movement of the moon away from the sun, and a minimum of 7 degrees has to occur before the moon will be visible from the earth with the naked eye. It's interesting because I think one of the things that has confused the issue is, as Imam Sahib said, is the birth of the moon. When the birth of the moon occurs, which is a phenomenon that is well recognized by scientists, the moon is completely dark at that stage. NASA scientists, in fact, took photographs 100 miles above the surface of the earth, and there was no image on those photographs because the moon did not have enough body to reflect any of the sun at that stage. And it's only after it has passed 7 degrees beyond the sun that the images can be captured. So it is again obvious that something that does not reflect these rays of the sun cannot be visible on the earth. And secondly, talking about whether technological advances can be used, we use watches to determine when the sehri is, when the iftar is, when the timing is. We don't go out and see whether the dawn has occurred or not. So everybody uses these, the whole Muslim world uses timings, and therefore the use of this technology is also something that is to the benefit of Muslims and not to their detriment.
At this point that you have mentioned about the scientific birth of the moon, I think it's very, very important because generally people, they go to the observatory without knowing the technicalities and they ask when is the new moon
That's
there.
Right. That's right.
So the observatory people, they always tell them when is the scientific birth of the moon. And that is naturally different, maybe difference of 1 day or 2 days maybe. Because in Islam, the crux of the matter is not the scientific birth of the moon, rather it is the visibility of the moon.
That's right.
So there is a big difference between the two, and that has to be understood. The whole emphasis is on the visibility of the moon, not on the scientific birth of the moon.
Jazakallah.
And nowadays they provide you both dates. Yes. I have seen myself this year.
Yes.
They have given one date when you can see only through scientific methods, and there is another day when you can see with naked eye. So they will provide you the information. No?
So it's a case of really knowing how to use the technology as well as having the technology.
Yes, that's right.
And moreover, one simple guidance given in the Holy Quran by the Holy Prophet ﷺ is that you try to see the new moon, and if you don't see it on one day, one evening, then you try to complete the month. And when there are 30 days of the month, naturally it cannot be 31. In Islam, the month is either 29 days or 30 days. It can't be of 28 or 31 days. So the guidance by the Holy Prophet ﷺ is that if the counting comes to 30, then automatically the new month has to begin. It was very strange. I was looking at the local newspaper here that first they went up to 29th of Shaban. And there was 1 day there, which they should have gone, because if they have not seen the moon, and nobody has seen actually. I haven't come across any news, anybody mentioning that I have actually seen the new moon. But on some reports they have decided. So next day they skipped. While according to this guidance of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, they should have gone for the 30th of Shaban, and then the next day should be the 1st of Ramadan.
Jazakallah.